Hello and welcome. My name is Lynn, and today I have a small unboxing to share. This is from Spellbinders, and when I ordered their advent calendar for 2022, since I already qualified for free shipping, I thought I would throw in a couple of extra things, and so this is what I got. It's not dies or stamps. I just wanted to pick up some papers actually because I haven't tried the Spellbinders papers outside of their card kits. And when I went to shop in their paper section, I was really compelled to pick up quite a few of these because, well, I'll get into that in a little bit, but the first thing I wanted to show, this is the main thing I was looking for, was their Glimmer specialty cardstock. And it says here it's 76 pound, I'm guessing cover weight, and it's a synthetic cardstock. So I feel like this might be similar to a product called Yupo paper, which is also synthetic and is often used for alcohol ink techniques. And the reason for that is because it's not porous. So when you apply your alcohol inks to it, it doesn't just soak into the paper, but rather it can be moved. So you can use different techniques like little a straw to blow through, or just blowing, with your mouth without any instruments. And you can have some really fun effects of moving that ink around, dropping different colors of inks to just see them bloom, see them mix with each other, and then, even just tilting, your paper around, you get a lot of movement. And I think this might actually be something similar just in the description of it. But the reason why I think that it's designed for glimmering or for hot foiling is because it's so smooth. And I think hot foiling does tend to work really well on super smooth paper. I use the Hammermill 100-pound super smooth digital color copy paper. So this is quite a lot lighter in weight, but it's going to be an interesting option because I suspect this will get me, at least my hope is, that it's going to get me really consistent results because it's designed by Spellbinders for their glimmering system. And so I'm super excited to try that out. So when I do, I'll do a video on it just so that you can see the sort of results I'm getting, and maybe even do a little bit of a side by side to compare it against my 100-pound Hammermill paper, which I have been actually getting really good results with, and I'm happy with it. But just thought I would try something that's designed for the Glimmer machine and just see whether it's worth it. So the cardstock, I've taken one sheet out of the packages, but let me show you what a pack looks like. You get 10 sheets to a pack, and it's really, really wonderful because it's 100-pound cover weight. So that's kind of amazing. You can hear how thick that is. Usually for my card bases, I use a 120-pound cover from Accent Opaque, and most of my solid color cardstock is actually only 65 pound, somewhere in that neighborhood, maybe 80 pound. So I don't make card bases, colored card bases, because I feel like 80 pound and even 65 pound more so, they're just too lightweight. And once you get more mats and layers onto that front, the front feels really heavy, and by comparison to the back. And so I prefer something nice, a nice sturdy base. And that's why I typically use 120 pound. Sometimes I will use my 100-pound Hammermill as well. So it just depends on what I have on hand. If I don't have the 120, then I'll use 100. And since these are 100-pound, they're really nice and substantial. I could see myself making some colored card bases out of these. And I think that's going to be a lot of fun for me because I don't ever do it. So I think it'll be really neat. So that's one thing that I really love about this paper. The other is that I do love that it's smooth. It's not super, super smooth as compared to, let's say, this specialty Glimmer paper, but it is smooth, good to stamp on if you want to stamp a sentiment onto it or stamp out a background onto it and you're looking for crisp, a crisp impression. I feel like the textured papers are you can stamp onto those as well, but you're not going to get as crisp of a line or impression as you would on nice smooth cardstock. So love that it's smooth on both sides. It's solid core, which I tend to prefer solid core cardstock to a textured cardstock or to a white core cardstock because I do a lot of die cutting. And so I love that when you die cut a solid core cardstock that it's the same color all the way through. So I know that leaves off the ability to get that distress technique where maybe you emboss and you sand it down a little bit, or you tear the paper and you expose that white core. So you don't have that option with a solid core cardstock, but because I do a lot of die cutting, I tend to prefer solid core. The other thing that I really love about the paper shop at Spellbinders is that if you look at these, you can kind of see that, well, I'm missing some colors of the rainbow because I picked the colors that I thought I would use the most. Certainly, I didn't pick up all of them, but now having seen it, feel it, I want to go back and get more and kind of fill out everything that I missed. But what I really appreciate, and I don't know that I see this quite as well done in other shops, is that for each color, you have there's a dark, a medium, and a light option. And the teal is really the one that I have the most of because it's my favorite color. And I think there's also either one or two more options beyond the three that I have. But this gives you a really good indicator of what I'm talking about because the color is essentially the same in terms of the tone of it and everything, but it's just that you're gonna get like a shade darker or a tint lighter. But essentially, you have the same color value, just darker or lighter. And where that's really fabulous is if you have, let's say, layering dies that have maybe a layer that's meant to kind of be the shadow. Let's say with leaves, for example, there's maybe one layer that's kind of showing the vein detail and maybe the outline, and another die that has the lighter portion. Well, you can use those dies, and you can use the papers within the green family to get a shadow and a highlight. And so I think it's really cool for building up your layering dies in a like a monochromatic colorway. This makes it super easy to kind of pick out papers that will help you achieve that monochromatic look. And for most of the other colors, I only picked up two, but there was either a third option that might have been in stock or possibly out of stock, and that's the reason why I don't have it. But I love that it's an option, because the other thing that this option lends itself really well to is kaleidoscope die sets, because those do have the different they are also another style of layering dies. And of course you can mix the colors, you don't have to go monochromatic with it, but if you're looking for that monochromatic effect, it's nice to very easily pick the colors in that colorway that you need to achieve that monochromatic look. And when you shop the page, the paper section of Spellbinders, it's ordered by color grouping as well. So they make it really, really easy for you to just kind of, pick up the 3 or 4, however many it happens to be in that color group. And so I'm clearly missing yellows. Mostly I didn't pick it up straight away because I don't craft with a lot of yellow. And I'm missing pinks. And the only reason why I didn't pick up pinks is because I have a lot of pink cardstock. So, but I might actually go back and get those and maybe fill out these a little bit more if they're back in stock. But I love it. And I didn't get their neutrals, because I feel like I'm happy with the white cardstock that I have and with the black cardstock that I have. But they do have beiges and grays as well, so I might be curious to try some of those out also. So really love the Spellbinders cardstocks for so far. I did add it to my swatch ring here, so I've got it on this end. So on this end of my solid color cardstock spectrum, I've got my heaviest paper, so 100-pound, and then on the opposite end, this is the lightest weight. I think this is my Crafter's Companion, which is 180 GSM. But I've got a lot of options in between. The other thing that really speaks to me in the Spellbinders papers is that the colors I feel like are very rich. They're almost kind of jewel toned. They're not super bright, just very saturated and rich colors. You can almost see when you look at my ring here, just how bright this section is as compared to this end of things. These are my Spellbinders. Tonic and Sizzix, while we're here, they're really fantastic, but they're both textured. And even though it says that it's smooth on the other side, that's smooth relative to the textured side. It's not as smooth as this cardstock is. So sometimes I really love that texture because it does add a little something to your project. And it's nice visually, but if you're stamping, it's nice to have a smooth surface to stamp on. So Tonic and Sizzix I think are really great, about the same, around 80-pound cover. And then for my most basic layering cardstock, I do like the Michael's Recollections. It's 65-pound, which is a nice thin layering weight. Again, solid core, great for die cutting. I also really like the Nina 65-pound Astro Bright. You can get the color range on here, I don't think is quite as wide as what you can get in Recollections. So those are the basics that I really love, but I have to say probably my top 2 faves are the Spellbinders one that I've just picked up and the Tonic Craft Perfect paper. Both are kind of unique and they offer different things. So these are the 2 that I think I'll probably stock up on and use more consistently. I did put the names onto the backs of my Spellbinders ones, so I'll try to, when I craft with these, to actually mention their names just in case you're using these papers as well. And I think I might go back and do that with the Tonic papers that I have too, just so that in case you're curious about the colors that I'm using, I can actually reference them by name. A lot of these, like the Recollections, they don't actually have individual names. They're sold as sort of collection packs, and I think Sizzix, I'm not sure about Sizzix if they have individual names for their papers. I know that they also have collection packs for theirs too that are sort of like themed like spring or pastels or what have you. So for the ones that are named and sold as individual packs like these are, I'll try to be cognizant and share those names as I use them. So the last thing that I want to mention is I did order all of these with the advent calendar. So I do plan to I'm going to try to post one video from on each day from December 1st through the 24th, where I craft with each item in the advent calendar, whatever is behind that day's door. So the advent calendar sold out. I don't know if Spellbinders is going to restock, order any more stock and make it available for purchase again. So if it does come back in stock and you are able to purchase it, what I might do is a full unboxing of the advent calendar. So I think it's supposed to ship out, if I remember the product description, early November. So if by the time I get the box, if it's restocked and available for purchase, what I might do is I might try to do a live unboxing of the entire advent calendar. So that will be a spoiler. So if you're curious to see what's in it, just so that you can gauge kind of value for money on whether or not you want to buy it, then that's the reason why I want to post an unboxing, whether it's going to be live or pre-recorded. I'll record myself unboxing it either way, just on the chance that it does come back in stock and you're able to purchase it. If you're like me and you kind of like to know what sort of value for money you're getting before you make a purchase decision, an unboxing might be helpful. If you don't want to see it because you have it and you like to have the surprise, then avoid that video, and I will very clearly say it's a spoiler alert and I'll be unboxing it. So you can steer clear of that video if you have the advent calendar and you want to save it as a surprise for December. I plan to open it early because I need the time to craft with it if I'm going to try to post 24 videos in December using the advent calendar goodies. So stay tuned for those videos. But until then, I'll link to a video that you might want to check out at the end of this video, as well as my Spellbinders playlist, where I put all of my projects that showcase Spellbinders products. Thanks so much for joining me today. Until next time, happy crafting and have a fantastic day. Bye.